Hi, I'm Jeff Chostner, District Attorney for the 10th Judicial District, which comprises Pueblo County. We're here today to introduce you to the 65 professionals that help make up this office, whether they be in District Court, County Court, IT, victim advocates, or our investigators. All are dedicated to the safety and welfare of Pueblo County. We want you to know what we do for you on a daily basis to help make Pueblo County a safer place.
Here in the office, I handle a budget of about $4 million. I supervise 60 plus employees, mainly oversee the support staff that works here. So a lot of the staff that I work with are the folks who make the attorneys look good. So they're the ones that get them ready for court and off to court. I do all of the HR and personnel things for the DA's office as well. I work closely with county HR. Oh, everybody that works here is wonderful. Great people to work with.
All of us investigators are post-certified, which means you go to a police academy and you have to get certified under the post requirements, which means peace officer standards and training. And so most of our guys are the old set. They're seasoned investigators, a very autonomous position. What happens is the attorneys maybe need some follow-up on their cases. And so what they'll do is they'll give us a request, and I will assign it to whichever investigator, and they'll follow up. And they're very autonomous, although we do sit there and we collaborate. You have to be an expert in almost everything, although you're not, but you know a little bit about how gunshot residue is. You have to know exactly what the detectives know, because you may be taking that extra step to go talk to those professionals who do gunshot residue kits, who examine guns, who do fingerprint work. And we will be talking to witnesses, especially doctors. We have to work with doctors a lot and go talk with them and determine the injuries on bodies. If there's serious bodily injury, which is a little bit step up from bodily injury. Serious bodily injury involves a lot more, and that bumps it up to a felony case. So we have to know what the ins and outs of statutes.
Investigators in this office are assigned to follow up on cases that are already in court. A case first gets reported to a police agency, like the Sheriff's Department or the Police Department, and then it starts going through the court process. And quite frequently, more names come up that were either a party to the case, they saw something happen. The victim or witness may have more information that we didn't know about, or they may say that it didn't happen at all. And so we'll go and talk to them and find out what they have to say. If there's follow-up that needs to be done based upon that, we do that. We also interview defense witnesses. So at the end of a court case, when it's about to go to trial, defense attorneys come up with this list of people that they think will help their side of the case. And we have no idea what they're going to say. It's nice to just remind yourself you're doing it for the right reason. That you come to work every day to help people.
I supervise really about 10 plus attorneys at any given time. It's the felony unit here in Pueblo. Also, I tend to handle quite a bit of the major case litigation. I've done 4 first-degree murder trials over the past 4 years. I think that the goal as a district attorney is justice. It's unique in the field of law, being a district attorney, being a prosecutor, where typically any given attorney in almost every other area of law tends to have their client, and it's mainly their client's interests that they concern themselves with. As a district attorney, you seek justice not just for the victims, but for the community and also for the defendant. which is something that other fields of law don't do. Obviously, you're thinking of the defendant as being someone who is on the opposite side. As district attorney, we have obligations to the defendant also.
I prosecute both juveniles and adults, prosecuting juveniles from 10 to 18 years old who commit criminal acts. And then I also do adults, and I've done everything in the DA's office from DUIs to first-degree murders. This is my third administration, if you will, that I have been under. And I think being a prosecutor is one of the best jobs because we get to speak for the victims, especially those that cannot or will not speak for themselves. We get to protect our own communities, and we get to protect the integrity of the system. Because the DA is actually in the best position to protect a defendant's civil rights. Because if we see a problem, we can get rid of the case before, fix the case or address the problem before it ever gets to court. Main thing is we get to make a difference. We get to make a difference in the community and in people's lives.
We take our cases and we do plea hearings, plea discussions. We meet with defense attorneys, seeing, is this case correct? Are the facts right? What should happen? Is this a habitual criminal that deserves to go to prison, or is this a good person who made a mistake that deserves that break? And try and get the investigations complete, and then we work them all the way through to the plea negotiation deal or through to trial. I mean, we couldn't do our job without, victim advocates talking to victims and helping us there, and then our secretaries, creating the files and doing all the work in the background. People like Mr. Yance, Mr. Case, Mr. Mattoon, they have decades of experience, and here you actually get to work with them and learn from them. It's unique that you get to do a job where your job is to do the right thing. If that's to dismiss a case, if that's to go to trial, if it's the plea bargain, we get to do the right thing, and that's pretty awesome.
I'm in our juvenile unit. I actually split my time between adult felony work and working on our juvenile delinquency cases. And one of the benefits of working in that unit is that we really actually get to see these problems more or less as they're starting. I mean, we certainly work very hard. Mr. Chostner has been good about encouraging us to really take an interest and be aggressive on these cases to make sure that we're getting as much as possible out of them. The truth of the matter is that especially with juveniles, it's a little tough to predict which way a given juvenile is going to go on these things. The good news is that on the one hand, we've had a lot of the most dangerous ones have been committed to youth corrections, which actually means they're out of the community at this point. And that's actually an ongoing opportunity for them to get treatment. But on the other side of the spectrum, we have a lot of people who nobody really thought were going to pull out of these things, but with a lot of help from the different parties involved and continued attention from us, we've been able to get those people out of the system, hopefully on the right track. Follow-up is a huge part of what we do in juvenile. The attention that we pay to those cases is even more direct and continuous than what you see on our adult felony cases, even more than those. We are in there basically all day, every day in court, having reviews of performance, how treatment is going, trying to calibrate everything to make sure that we're doing everything the right way for these kids. And again, to reward them when they're doing well and when they turn things around, but also to be able to step in there when compliance goes south.
I supervise the county court lawyers. I also carry a caseload of my own and appear in county court. I also handle the First Appearance Center, which is where tickets and minor misdemeanor cases make their first appearances in court. The first appearance center is where if somebody gets a minor traffic ticket of some kind, they come to court, they get explained their rights by a video that lets them know what their rights are, and then if they want to talk to me, I make a plea offer to them. We try to make the offers in that particular court a little lighter than we would if they had to come back to court or if they have prior criminal convictions or things of that nature. We also handle the first-time DUI cases down there. The public defender does not appear in that courtroom, so it's mostly just us and the defendants handling the cases in a more informal manner than you would see in a courtroom with a judge. There is no judge in the first appearance center generally. Then I supervise the lawyers. We have 6 lawyers that handle the 2 county court divisions. So if they have questions about their cases, I try to answer those questions. If they have more complex cases, I try to help them out with those cases. We also have a division that handles our domestic violence charging.
We get all of our charging sent directly to the attorneys as opposed to just having the police officers write up tickets. So especially for domestic violence, what we do is we review all of the police reports and make charging decisions based on what we read in the affidavits. With our prosecutors and our victim assistants and our investigators all working together as a group, I think it's a much more effective way of prosecuting cases because we really do get all perspectives. And it's my opinion that in order for a case to be properly handled and properly executed, you really need multiple perspectives. Because if you just have one district attorney looking at it and making decisions, you don't have the benefit of seeing what other people's thoughts are and what other people bring to the table. What I have found especially rewarding about this position is I can sit down and I'm looking at a case and I can bounce it off of other DAs in the office, especially in county court. I go and I talk to them about what they think. I'm able to talk to my victims assistants and get their opinion on what they think that the victim is feeling, how they think the victim could be best benefited. And I can talk to my investigators who have much more experience than I do. They've been doing this for years. And they can say, hey, this is what I think about this case. What do you think? And we bounce ideas off of each other. So while it is a little more involved than just writing down a statute number and really work to make sure that we're doing the right thing in every case. And that's one of the reasons I especially love working at this office, because the main goal is doing what's right. And even if it takes more time, if it takes more energy and work, that's what we do to make sure that we're doing the best possible job that we can for the community.
I've been here over 30 years. I work with 3 attorneys myself and prep the cases for our attorneys, make sure they have everything. Our duties as legal assistants has changed, and the way Jeff has done it has made it more effective. The caseloads are more evenly distributed, so it does help the legal assistants out. The office seems to run very smoothly. Everybody gets along with everybody.
Our position is to make sure that the attorney looks good in court. We are going to put their files together. We do all the motions for them that need to go over to court, subpoenas, discovery that goes to defense attorneys. We file all their filing for them. Discovery is all law enforcement reports. Everything that they send to our office, we have to actually stamp it, number it, and then discover it to whoever is asking for it, whether it be a private attorney, a public defender. We have to provide that to them so that they know what they're going to court on as well. We've recently gone to the e-filing system, which We know if something gets rejected right away, which makes our life a lot easier because then we can get it fixed fairly quickly, which makes it a lot easier for us and the attorney. I love it. I take great pride in what I do and my job.
Our office handles close to 2,400 felony cases a year, along with roughly 8,000 to 9,000 county court cases, which include domestic violence, DUIs, traffic tickets, a little bit of everything. My staff touches everything that comes into this office, and we make sure we get it all entered into our statewide database so that the lawyers have a good, accurate criminal history when they go to court. We've piloted several different electronic features that have been rolled out statewide. We started with eSubpoena, which was sending subpoenas to our law enforcement agencies. We moved on to e-filing criminal cases with the courts. Our office works as a great team. With the new technology coming out and all the enhancements to the system, we all have to kind of be on the same page to move forward with a more paper-on-demand type of office.
When a case comes into our office, each one of the victim advocates is assigned to a courtroom. So of my 3 ladies, they are assigned to a district court and a county court. We also have the first appearance center, and one of the advocates has that. And so when police reports come in and the case is made into a file, the advocates basically put together the file. We also go to court in our unit. I assign all the homicide cases. They all go through me. I assign, and I also work homicide cases. I do the victim